It's been a long time coming. I knew Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze was worth attempting without jumping, but I was really curious on how the game that came before it, Donkey Kong Country Returns, would be doable. Spoiler alert, it went really bad. But now that this game is out on Switch and adds Dixie Kong, maybe there's a chance. Is this game beatable without jumping? Let's find out. Now, this challenge is completely impossible without jumping once, since there are various sections that cannot be bypassed even with the jump replacements that will be seen in just a moment. So this is a minimalist run. We will be tracking every time jumping is required, and the final score will be the sum of every level's quantity of required jumps. I will have a document containing the score for every level, as well as a cohesive guide containing tips for if you want to try this run out for yourself and get this number lower. It will be linked in the description below. Now that we're heading into 1-1 Jungle Hijinks, it's time to address our World 1 path. Right off the bat, we cannot go to 1-5, which is where the game would take us if we don't purchase the map key from the in-game shop. For this challenge, Super Guide, given from dying 8 times in original mode and 5 times in modern mode, is banned, as it would allow us to bypass levels and get through the game without any incident. The Super Guide also jumps numerous times, which would defeat the purpose of this challenge. With that logic, I use 1-1 to accumulate 10 coins so we can purchase the map key and make our way to 1-4 instead, which is completely possible jumpless. We'll get to that level later. For now, let's talk about how we're going to traverse this run. Our best method of gaining vertical elevation will be by using multiplayer and dismounting DK with Dixie to allow her to gain height and cross gaps without needing to jump off the ground. This does mean we have to move DK off screen and teleport him to her. The upside to this is the fact that with some enemy bounces we can carry DK with the help of Dixie's helicopter spin to make significant progress. Additionally, there are some levels where we can take advantage of enemy bounces to farm coins in case we need to buy items or a map key. We're also using modern mode for this run, so there isn't as much needed, and there are some levels where green balloons and crash guards, which do not exist in original mode, are vital for very few levels in this run. We will also be taking advantage of banana juices and heart boosts, especially for bosses. DK and Dixie's 3 hearts aren't enough to handle every obstacle, so we're going to be coin farming a lot in this run. I end up restarting the level after making it to the end letter coin since we are still short on coins needed to buy enough items to keep progress going in the later levels of World 1. We don't access the shop until after beating 1-2, but it's still important to be prepared ahead of time. Once I make it back to the end letter coin, I end up having to sacrifice 3 lives to make it into the barrel that shoots back into the foreground, since there isn't any way to get DK off screen and teleport, which does also mean I'm going to be purchasing lives from the shop as well. After returning to the foreground, I enter the challenge room where the level's 7th puzzle piece is located. This bonus room contains 2 banana coins and a red balloon, so I collect those and then I finish the rest of this level. Upon clearing the level, I hit the jumbo slot on the end barrel to get another 13 coins to have enough for more than just the map key. Onwards to the next level. One 2 King of Kling starts off rough with a spike pit we need to damage boost through, but if you're quick you can escape it before dying. The level goes smoothly afterwards until after the checkpoint. Pro tip, if you need to gain vertical elevation using enemies but have already killed them, you can move away from where they were and come back to make them magically reappear for another shot. After the checkpoint, the level gets evil. It all becomes a vertical level, which isn't so bad to start, but we run into a roadblock pretty quickly after we begin climbing. Just like what we saw at the beginning of the level, our only reliable jump replacement ends up leaving us at a dead end by the cave with the 6th puzzle piece. The clinging moss we need to get onto is too high to reach with Dixie, so we have to jump to reach it. There's no bottomless pits to jump down and call a green balloon, and this level is mandatory, so we have to use our first jump here. Thankfully, the rest of the shaft presents no difficulty, as all the cliffs can be bypassed with ease, and I collect another 13 coins from the slot machine barrel at the end. Now that the shop is unlocked, before going to 1-3, I stop by it and purchase 2 crash cards, a heart boost, and the map key. Onwards to the next level. 1-3 has a large tiki at the start of the level which can be used to get some coins. I make use of this on the way to the first barrel cannon, and the level goes smoothly until the O letter coin. Just like in 1-2, there is another spike pit that we need to get Dixie across, so I rush to escape it and grab the heart from the dandelion. After that, we have hit a dead end. To be able to get onto the pillar left of the O letter coin, we have to jump again since it's too tall to get Dixie onto. We can avoid jumping a second time by bouncing off the frog to make it to the checkpoint. To make the road ahead much simpler, I grab Rambi from the crate underground and jump once again to get into the barrel cannon, allowing us to escape, and I clear out the spikes to make the next step easier. The difficult part of leaving the spike pit is landing on the seesaw platform. It took me a few tries to get this right, but you can avoid sliding off into oblivion by standing directly in the middle. While it may sound easy, it's not. Like I said, it took me a few tries to align myself perfectly in the center of this platform. Even then, I still had to duck under the frog, which we will be using for elevation once DK is on the platform. When we finally execute this trick, I teleport DK and have Dixie mount him, then I bounce on the frog to get to the treetops and make my way to the end letter coin. After the end letter coin, these two collapsed pillars are too high to get Dixie onto, just like the one from before. So here we use our fourth jump and then finish the rest of the level. Onwards to the next level. Since we now have the map key purchased, we can make our way to 1-4, Sunset Shore. This is the flattest level in the game, meaning it can just be rolled through with no worries at all, save for the cliffs that need to be climbed along the way. I should also mention that this is a great level for coin farming. I end up making use of this towards the end of the level, and I also collect lives from bouncing on a minimum of 8 enemies without touching the ground. Another easy level in the bag. Now, before going into 1-6, we're going to need 4 Crash Guards. The problem with this is the fact that I only have enough coins to purchase 1, so I do that and also get a banana juice for the boss. Knowing this, I end up replaying 1-4 again so that I can farm enough coins to get 1 more Crash Guard, and then I go to 1-6 with all 4. Before even getting to the minecart, there are 2 required jumps. The third one can be skipped by just reaching the doorway into the cave with Dixie and teleporting DK. After that, we ride the minecart. Now there's a reason why I brought Crash Guards into this level. The thing is, each Crash Guard gives you 2 blue hearts each. There are 8 enemies that we need to crash through, with invincibility frames after using 1 blue heart allowing us to crash through another enemy without losing an additional heart. If we don't bring Crash Guards in, we will only be able to survive for about 10 seconds because we die if the minecart has no shield when crashing into anything. And no, you can't use a banana juice to save yourself. There are still a few required jumps in this level, but thankfully I end up using all 8 of my blue hearts at exactly the right time, and avoid crashing into anything. Before going to the boss level, I end up doing more coin farming due to being flat broke after purchasing the Crash Guards. I end up using the coins I currently have to purchase another heart boost so that I can have extra hearts for both DK and Dixie since it takes lots of damage boosting to beat the boss. The trick to advancing a phase quickly is to hover over Mugly while he's going full Yoshi across the arena. This will allow you to use Dixie to get the 3 hits on him. When he's about to run across the arena, damage boost to trigger him to flutter from the opposite side. It gets a bit harder by the 3rd phase, but I managed to stick the final 3 hits on my first try, meaning all that's left to do is defeat the Kalimba Tiki and get out of here. And that's how it's done. With Tiki being punched into oblivion, this part of the challenge has officially been concluded. Next time we will be focusing on World 2, where obstacles get much more difficult to pass, which should make this run even more interesting. If you enjoyed the first part of this new adventure, give it a like and subscribe so as not to miss out on more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.